before we get started, I just wanted to go over something really quick. I was researching where the division symbol comes from, and so this guy, and it comes from that is a fraction with the numerator and denominator left blank. The more you know. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at positive or negative. How do we know if a solution is going to be positive or negative? When I say solution, today we're talking about products and quotients. So there are basic rules that we can follow here, and they're going to generate around same sign or different signs. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you have a positive times a positive, that's the same sign. Negative times a negative, positive divided by a positive, or negative divided by a negative. Every single one of these, we have the same sign, and we have multiplication or division, we're going to end up with a positive answer. Okay? So same signs. This is only multiplication and division. Do not fall for this trap of thinking, oh, that goes for addition and subtraction as well. It does not. It's only multiplication and division. Same sign, positive. Different signs, meaning positive times a negative, negative times a positive, positive divided by a negative, negative divided by a positive. These are all negative answers. So if you see two different signs, it's a negative answer. Okay? So let's look at some problems here. And all we're going to do, we're not actually going to do the calculations. I just want you guys to figure out, is this positive or negative? So here, 14 times negative 12. This is a positive times a negative. Let's take time to think real quick. This is a negative answer. One positive, one negative is a negative. Next one. Negative 1 divided by negative 9. Again, I don't care what the answer is right now. We just want to know, can you identify positive or negative? So you should be thinking negative divided by a negative is a positive. Same signs always give a positive product or quotient. This one's a little more involved. We got three numbers happening now. So let's do this. If we break it into chunks, we have a negative times a negative, and we should be thinking negative times a negative, so this is a positive number now whenever you do this multiplication. So we wind up with a positive number times a negative 4. So a positive times a negative, and we should be thinking negative. Positive times a negative is a negative. Let's do another one. We got 4 divided by negative 6 times 7. So you should be thinking, here I have the 4 positive divided by a negative. Positive divided by a negative, I should be thinking different signs. That's negative, so right now I have a negative times a positive. It stays negative. 4 divided by negative 6 is negative times 7 stays negative. Okay? So those are the basic rules. Just a quick overview of them. This should be review from the lesson and previous math courses. So here is your task for the live lesson. I want you to develop two problems like the one we just looked at. Problem 1 must use three numbers. For example, negative 2 divided by 1 times 4. So first problem has to use three numbers. The second problem, problem number 2 you make, must use four numbers. So it must look like something like this. 14 times negative 12 divided by 9 divided by 4. Have your problems ready to share when you come to the live lesson. Type them up in a Word document so you can cut and paste them into the chat pod when you're asked to. Okay? Hint, we're going to be playing a game with it. For division, use the slash button. Okay? We can't make the division symbol in the chat pod. So all you need to do, for example, if you want to do 14 divided by 5, you just do 14 slash 5. Same thing. All right, that slash we'll use to represent division whenever we type in the chat pods. All right, everybody have a good day. Get those two problems ready, and we'll see you guys in the live lesson.